Welcome to the Read to Resist Cafe. The Read to Resist Cafe is basically an event that brings together book lovers who want to discuss themes of strength, of liberation, of resistance. Our featured author today, like I said, is a Kenyan household name with international acclaim. She is a social justice luminary. Her 30-year-plus career, which is rooted in law and spanning across social activism, judicial, constitutional, and political arenas, is distinguished and has garnered numerous accolades. As an accomplished precedent-setting lawyer cum politician who was bestowed by President Uhuru Kenyatta the prestigious designation of Senior Counsel, our featured author was a notable figure in the founding and development of Kenya's pluralistic politics. So her activism extended into legislative processes of Kenya, where she was key in establishing landmark reforms to strengthen democracy, respect for human rights, and increase space for women's participation in politics. Our guest today has served this country as a member of parliament, as well as a minister in the dockets of water management and development, as well as justice and constitutional affairs, the latter under which she oversaw the architecture of a self-propelling legislation that yielded a long-fought-for new Kenyan constitution. The first woman elected to represent Gishugu constituency, serving an unprecedented 4 terms in that area, our guest today culminated her incredible passion and remarkable political career towards a presidential bid, and in 2022 was selected as the first female deputy presidential running mate in a major party. She continues to be an outstanding, principled, and accomplished champion of social justice in Kenya and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, book lovers, please put your hands together for the Honourable Senior Counsel Martha Karua. In the book, one of your mentors, what's his name? Also a senior counsel, Feroz Nauroji, he called this book a midterm memoir. So the question here would be, why now? I mean, the career has been long, the achievements have been many. Why not 10 years ago? Why not even 5 years from now? Why now?
Actually, it should have been 10 years ago because it's a delayed work of 10 years. 9 years, actually. So you can see why now, because that's when it finished. We were ready to launch November of last year, not earlier. Could have been earlier. Like 2016, 2015, could have been 9 years before.
The memoir captures a lot of living history in Kenya, your own personal history and also our history. The way you've written the book, there's so many tidbits of our history all through, you know, and it's fantastic. We get to peep names that we know and we've been knowing, but we see them playing different roles even in your life. So did you intend this to be both personal history as well as our national history? Was that the intention?
I wish I could do national history. I would need help because we really need to know our own history through our own perspective. It is a shame that most of the history we read was written by the very colonizers. So you never get heroic stories of Kenya's resistance, of Kenyans in their daily roles, things that can help us be proud of who we are. So this is just a personal journey, and it's just bits and pieces. Nobody's story can fit in a book. So you take the highlights. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So you've been called Iron Lady, the only man in Kibaki's cabinet. In the book, you call those labels patriarchal. In fact, there's a quote.
Yeah.
They're expressions born from entrenched patriarchy where certain traits such as assertiveness are considered masculine. Because a lot of us would think if you call you the Iron Lady, that's such a fantastic title. So how would you like to be referred to?
Just by my name.
Okay.
That's it. I've been waiting to hear a man labeled the Iron Man. It's not coming because they expect that is the norm. You see? Yeah. So a woman who asserts themselves will be called all names. I've been called abrasive. When my male counterparts are being called strong leader, you know, promising, upcoming, you'll be called all names. You'll be called arrogant for standing your ground. And guess what? You just have to say, if I have to be bad to be who I am and to do the things I do, then I want to be very bad.
Well, that's a quote right there. In the book as well, there's a lot of manifestation.
Yeah.
When you were 8 years old, you're in court with your dad, and you're like, I'm going to be a judge. When you're in high school with Damaris, and you tell her, Damaris, you're going to be MP for Kadara. I'm going to be MP for Yeshogu. And all of that, down to the person you were going to marry, you actually envisioned and visualized. So how, maybe teach us, how do you have such conviction?
Visions were not so good. You know, it's just, I don't know. I think we all manifest what is going to happen. We sometimes don't know and don't remember. But I believe that, like they say in the Bible, what we confess with our tongues. So I wished to be a judge. And you know, judge in a magistrate that time, you know, because local courts is a magistrate, but how do people refer to them? Judge. I think, I don't know what I liked about it, because it's not that I understood, but maybe the attention the man was commanding, the deference, and I desired to sit where he was sitting someday. And so I go through secondary school asking questions, what combination can take me to university to do law? You see, those days, you are not told. We didn't have very many people guiding us through careers, because there weren't very many people going past a certain level. So all I was told, which was not actually very correct, is that I needed to be arts-oriented. Okay? But I couldn't even have been science-oriented, because after Form 2, we couldn't do science anymore. My school did not have a laboratory. So I said goodbye to physics, to biology, to all those things. So I didn't have a choice, as it were. It's a choice, am I going to pursue geography or history? What other subject? You just, within the narrow confines of the subjects you're doing. And is it law? Is it teaching? Is it commerce? Those days there were not the courses you are hearing now, you know, nice sounding courses, were not there. So the choices were not so many. But I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, failing which, a teacher. That was the second choice. I can't remember what was the third. Yeah, but I was either going to be a lawyer or a teacher. And that's it. And I worked hard. I got my first choice. Yeah.
And she looks good, doesn't she? All right, so again, I'm going to refer to the book because I really enjoyed it. I'm going to say I really enjoyed it, especially because, one, it helps me understand someone that I admire, you know, a deeper understanding. And two, because, again, it's our history, and there's so many things I did not know that I kind of have a behind-the-scenes kind of, you know, look. And when you talk about gender discrimination, because you elaborate on it quite a bit in the book. And the first time you encountered that was in student politics. You were running for office in university.
Yeah.
And you realize nobody wants a woman to run, especially not those days. And there's a boy who wrote "shy off" on the board. I feel like those words would have been stronger today. So the question here is, you talk about, as the time of writing the book, we have a Chief Justice who's a woman. The Deputy Chief Justice is a woman. The registrars of the High Court, the Court of Appeal, even now the Attorney General. So I guess the question is, do you feel we're there yet?
No. We need to be there seated properly, not flowering the places, and making decisions that make all of us feel represented. And I want to give you an example that is far away. Rwanda is past the 50% mark in parliament. But actually it's the highest percentage of women in any legislature in the world.
Wow.
I think they're about 60-something%. But does that translate to gender equality in the country? That is the question. So you want to see whether the increased representation of women in spaces, and because of the quotas, is it translating to meaningful equality across the board? We'll say we are there when we see the curriculum changes, when we see examples that are being given to children in our school books, you know, taking care of what we are teaching our children. Up to today, a mother will very easily, and I don't know, it could be a mother your age, tell the son, don't cry like a little girl. You are already passing the patriarchy you learned to your son. So we do it unconsciously without realizing. I would want programs right from the school. In fact, we should have a subject called gender relations, where you are teaching mutual respect, where you are teaching, you know, we are trying to get our young ones to learn how to treat each other, how to respect each other. If it's not coming from the home, it's not going to be in the society. And for it to be in the home, it has to be a deliberate and conscious effort. How many times do you catch yourself wanting to say words that are disparaging to you as a woman? How many times will a father say something or a mother say something that is teaching patriarchy and discrimination to their own child? What about the chores we give at home? Me and my sister, the one older than me, because the others come much later, we were always the ones doing the work in the house with my mom. We will also join the boys in the farm, but we will do two things, the farm and the home. When we come back, the boys will be playing. If there is fetching of water, it will be me and Margaret. The others will be somewhere else. It just comes naturally, you know, because that's the way my mother was raised. That's the way my grandmother was raised. That's the way the society is. And anybody who questions is a deviant. Therefore, my paternal grandmother was a deviant because she was questioning things. And they found a way to suppress her. Not her spirit, but to make her do what she really didn't want to do. Yeah. Wow.
Well, actually, now we can segue into I was not taught. Because that was the interview a couple of years ago. And the question was, because women are taught to be a certain way, and you said with a lot of conviction, I was not taught.
I didn't let her finish because it was so offensive. You know, that whether you've been taught to use your womanly wiles, why would you have to do that?
Yeah.
You go to school just like your brother to be who you are. Why do I have to use extra? I found the question demeaning, distasteful. So I reacted. I didn't even realize I was on stage because if you're being interviewed, you are on. I would have tried to hide a little, but it just, I'm as transparent as they come when it comes to feelings. So it just came. Yeah.
I understood, but I think once you read the book, you really understand this phrase.
That I was not taught.
Because the relationship you have with your dad it wasn't typical of those days. Like, he was very supportive, and your paternal grandmother as well. Mwajogu
was my best friend.
Yes. Yeah. So when you have such strong background of people who defend you, even there's a story you give in the book when you are running for office for the first time in 1992, because the person you're running against is much older, and they're chastising your father, and they're like, discipline your child. Why is she running against an elder? Disturbing an elder. So he was continuously standing up for you, whether it's in school, whether it's in the political arena. So when you read the book, you really understand where the phrase "I was not taught" actually comes from. So that was very interesting. So the next question here would be, I had labeled here soft ministries and bold stances. 1997, a very pivotal moment. Now you're in DP. Mwai Kibaki is the official leader of the opposition. Is it 97? Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah. 98. Yes. 1998. Yes, after the elections in 97.
I've already done one term.
And at the time, you're serving as the secretary for legal and constitutional affairs in DP. So when President Kibaki, well, now former President Kibaki, names his cabinet, his shadow cabinet, you assume, obviously, you're going to be the shadow either Attorney General or, legal and constitutional affairs, because that's the docket you've been doing.
Yeah.
but they decide you are the Cultural and Social Services Secretary.
The ministry, the first woman minister,
The
Nyiva
first.
had been given.
Yes,
Yeah.
in 95. And what does Honourable Karua do? She's like, sorry, I don't want it. And even beyond not wanting it, I'm even resigning as your Secretary for Legal and Constitutional Affairs. That was a very bold move. And I remember that, and I loved reading the backstory behind it, because that's the first time I heard of Martha Karua. It was such a pivotal moment in history. And my question, I guess, was, when you look back, would you have done anything differently at that time?
Not really, because you see, he also that time never really applied himself
Okay.
properly.
Gotcha.
Because here I am, elected Secretary for Legal and Constitutional Affairs, just like he was elected chairperson of DP. Would he give himself a different role in the party, like deputy chair? He wouldn't. Would he give himself, another side role? So when you're naming a shadow cabinet and you have to name a person already having a responsibility,
Yeah.
you try to align.
Yeah.
So it offended me that in spite of me being elected, he's giving it to a male colleague, one Kiraito, who had just come to the party. And that is awkward, because then he becomes the official spokesperson inside Parliament, while I remain the official spokesperson on the issues outside Parliament, which is awkward and can lead to two different positions. So I decided, have it your way, take the seat. But I'm not leaving the party, and because I'll look for leadership, I'll look for it from the people. And here I am still doing so. Yes.
Well, there you go. There's some of the scenes in the book that read kind of like a movie. When Gitobu Imanyara was being arrested, he was the editor of the Kenya Law Review, isn't it? Kenya
Law Monthly,
Kenya Law Monthly.
which was later inherited by the Grand Mullah.
Aha. So there's a time he's been arrested because obviously, he's a lawyer, he's loud, he's proud. And you and your fellow lawyers gather at his house. At his office. And you see him spirited away in a police car.
And
So
I left my car
Aha.
on the way
And
to my office.
what did you do? You get another car.
Yeah, I asked who had a car, and the wife gave me her keys.
And in the book, the way it's described, you're chasing a police car.
Yeah.
And and she actually says in the book, they were driving badly, I was driving worse. So run a red light, go over the pavement, go over the pavement. So it's when you look back at moments like that, do you say, hey, you are daring? Or is it just, this was just who you are and it continues?
Sometimes there's no time to think. It's time for action.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to take him we don't know where. So you give chase and you give it your all. The things I do, I give them my all. Yeah.
There's also another story in the book where you had just had your baby. 4 days after having the child, you're in court. Because you have to, it's work, you have to work.
How else do you earn?
Yes, correct. And that was a lot to do because at some point you are a mother, you are a parliamentarian, you still have your law practice, you still have to appear in court. That's a lot.
That time I'm not elected yet.
Oh, not yet. So now at a later date when now all of this is coinciding and there's so many balls up in the air, how do you not drop any of them? How are you able to juggle it all?
Just like a woman.
Well,
I think everybody here, male and female, you've grown up seeing your mother do Maudo 40 all at once.
40 things
and
at
not
once.
dropping the ball. Even those who are in cities and have no farm, the kind of routine a woman does, whether she's working elsewhere or just in the home, it's just mind-boggling. So we are wired. At an early age, you are learning by seeing. You'll see there that I even tried to go and get Napier grass for the cows because I've seen another woman doing it. So you somehow learn. Yeah. So it's nothing nobody teaches you, but the society around you, your home, the society around you teaches you how to juggle things. So it's something that comes naturally. Yeah, I knew one thing. I'm the sole breadwinner of my household, which has now increased from 2 to 3, because I have a daughter and now a son. And I know that there will be bills to pay at the end of the month. There's my house rent, there is my office rent, there's my office workers, there is our food, our upkeep, and everything else. So what is guiding you is the necessity. And the word failure did not occur to me. I just had things to do. And I did them, and here I am.
There you are. So when they call you fearless, at the very least, that one, I think that's a title well earned, because there's even a quote in the book that to defend a political prisoner back in the 90s, it was extremely risky or even suicidal.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It was really risky. But here's Honourable Karua, and she's defending a man who's up for treason charges. Let me remember his name. Mirugi Kariuki. Yes. There's rallies that are being organized. You're in LSK at the time when Paul Mwite is your chair on the governing council.
Yeah.
And there's a faction of LSK that's suing you.
Yeah.
Those were some precarious times. Even when you're running for office the first time and the opponent's supporters say, we're going to kill you. And these are threats you take seriously because you know they can do that. So these were risky moves. So where do you get the courage? Because you're human. You will be scared. You have a family. There's that, natural trepidation. But how do you dig deeper and go beyond that and say, this is just something I must do?
Let me say, I never entertained the idea that I could drop my candidacy. That did not occur. What was occurring is, what is the next step? So I came back to Nairobi and organized myself. And I went to the DP headquarters, said I had a security threat. I was given 2 people, whom then I have to find out how to maintain and to pay. One, an ex-army man. I think both of them were ex-army, but one more senior than the other. And one looked like Goliath. He was big. He was past 6 foot, and that's very good because you also want to stua, even just by any. And he was, then the other one was medium. And we sat down with them, and being security people hatched a plan. So they were able to train my youth. They were able to be around me so that it is noticeable to everybody that I have security. And I would announce in my meetings that if there are any further casualties, they will not be mine. It will be somebody else. And I would announce, we will not attack, but you attack us, you will regret. Yeah. And we went on very well. Yeah. But they also knew a trick or two, like detonating something near outside there in the coffee plantation so that it sounds the whole area and people know that we are well armed.
Oh, well. I love it.
And it worked, yeah.
There were 2 incidences in the book that we can't not talk about. One I did not know, when you were on the House Business Committee, this is, I believe, is 2000 or 2001, and you were 4 DP representatives, yourself, Norman Nyaga, David Muraria, and Mwai Kibaki. And a bill came, a proposal, to extend President Moi's term by
1 year.
1 year, yes. And everybody in DP actually said, let's do it. Because the idea was, or as you say in the book, ostensibly to finalize the constitutional review process. Yeah. So everyone, DP, including your party chair, says, go ahead. But Honourable Karua,
the entire committee, we were 20.
Yeah.
So 19 versus 1.
Versus 1 who says, no. And everyone is like, why are you going against your party chair?
It was not polite that you arrogant person, here is your whole chairman and you dare. And I'm like, standing orders. Every member has a vote. And I've already voted against it. So all I'm insisting, go ahead but record my dissent. They didn't want to record. Yeah.
That's true.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it is not my team that was saying don't record. It was the Toto man himself telling them, don't record, let's deliberate further. When I completely became bendable, they said, let's do it next week. It just disappeared. Yeah.
That was. So I didn't know about the House Business Committee. Like I'd read about the other incidences. So reading that in the book, I was like, "Ooh, that was a tidbit I learned." And then, of course, we cannot forget also in 2001, very famously, when President Moi comes to Kerugoya, and and
Ajue mimi ni wa DP.
Yeah,
Because he was asking people to move to his party.
true.
So it's good to walk out reinforcing who you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that video is very You walked, and when you're just about to leave, fist in the air, in case you did not know why I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm not going to the bathroom.
I first saluted him
Yeah.
before passing.
And then you proceed on to go to the town and actually have a press conference to say why you did what you did. And I'm just like, the guts that it takes to do some things. So yeah, that was, when you think about that moment, do you think it was pivotal in what was to come? That particular moment of putting your fist in the air?
I just think it was very necessary that I show my total disagreement, reassert my right to be where I was. Remember 2001, 2002 is elections.
Yeah.
If you let people think that opposition is illegitimate, how then was I going to campaign in the same place? So I'd already made a quick calculation that I must walk out on the dude. You see? And that I'm not going to go behind him because it will look like I'm attacking him.
Yeah.
So I had scanned the area and known my route. And you lie in wait. And I cannot walk out of his chairman. He is the author. When a dog barks, look for the owner. So I was waiting for the owner of the barking dog.
It literally says in the book, I made up my mind there and then I was going to walk out.
There were two people who realized what I was about to do.
Yeah.
The late J.J. Kamodo and Washira, he used to be the police commissioner. And they are telling me in Kikuyu, "Oi, mami, oi." They are telling me not to go. Me, I'm not talking to them. I'm just clutching at my bag waiting for the moment, They could see something was about to happen. Yeah.
Oh man, it's I'm gonna throw questions back because I know you're pressed for time.
But you can be sure it gave me a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah.
Because what can kill me is inaction in the face of such serious adversity or assault. Because somebody else is trying to assault your dignity, to obliterate you. The failure would be failing to respond appropriately. So once you respond, you have come. Yeah.
You did say, this is part one. There's another book coming. There's another story you haven't told.
I haven't started. This is just about the electoral justice.
Yes.
And mainly the 2022 elections. Yeah, but I'll begin a bit earlier. Throughout my election cycle, my view of electoral justice in Kenya.
We're going to throw the questions now to the audience. Who has question? Wow. Okay, question.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leah Wanjiru. I am a feminist young mom. When you were vying in the last elections, did you feel that women supported you as you needed? If not, what can we do in 2027?
Yes, I really felt supported by women. They did what they could within that short period. We can do better by organizing better, ensuring that we reach many more women. And there's need for that because I am vying now, not as a running mate, as the presidential candidate. So please, if you feel you can, step up and be part of the movement, liberation movement. But I want to salute all women who supported. Because people it's a myth when they say women don't support one another. I'll tell you, even my first campaign, my mainstay was women and youth. It is just that the few who don't support you will be so vocal. And if they are abusive, they'll be so abusive, you'd think it's a whole whatever. Yeah. But I'll tell you from experience, women do support one another. Yeah. So please, let's show them.
I just want to go back to a quick line that you did in your book, where they kept referring to you as her honor.
Yeah.
instead of your honor, right? And my trouble with that is that doesn't seem to have changed. We still deny women their rightful titles, even when they've earned it, even in this day and age. So how do you stay motivated when the pace of change is so slow?
You know, what was irritating me, not that I'm not her, but they're doing that to differentiate. Because I've come to disrupt. It's been a male domain and they've been saying your honor. But the mind is so taken by the fact that it's a different gender, so they have to address me as her. And I had to tell him, address the court, not my person. Now, you wonder what is happening. We are not trying hard enough. Those in civic education or civic engagement, you think that when you have talked to one generation, you have talked to the next. Like when we were doing constitutional review, we had really sensitized Kenya. Most people were supporting the quotas and everything. But you see the next cycle, you forget that a lot of people have fallen by the wayside. If it's members of parliament, almost 80% is gone. You forget after 5 years, you're dealing with several other incoming generations that were not there. It's got to be continuous. We've got to be very, very deliberate. Otherwise, things will not change. And they will not change if we do not change our educational system. It will inform how those who write, the journalists will write in the newspaper. When I decided to run and I said I'm running, on the corridors of justice in the courts, a place where I was a leader already as a council member, a place where I had been a mobilizer, an organizer, I was still asked, since when did you become a politician? The people for whom we had campaigned and had been elected, the males, were not being questioned. So we have to work this out together. And mothers in the room, we've got a greater job to do. The children are spending more time with us. And mothers can also tell the fathers, let's raise this one differently. It has to be deliberate and we have to have this conversation. You give me my 1 term and I'm going to have a program that helps us start that discourse in the social sphere and also in the educational sphere, because generations are shaped by the education system. We need to do something. We cannot just have laws against gender-based violence, against femicide. How many laws are you going to have? We have already a law against murder. It's about mindsets. It's about implementation.
My name is Sankara, and my question is, who was your biggest help in this hard time for you?
Wow.
That one's mine. Thanks, guys.
What a question. I think friends and the social support, which includes family. So it's friends and family, or family and friends. Because you can see through all my battles, you can almost feel my family. I'm having problems in school as a learner, not the learning part, but the discipline part. I have my family behind. Mm-hmm. I'm having problems in marriage. I have family behind. I'm having problems with politics. I have family behind. But do not forget that you have 2 types of families. The family God gave you, that's blood relatives, and the family you choose for yourself, friends. So in a nutshell, greatest support, family.
Excellent. Thank you.
I'd like to amplify, I think, the question that was asked earlier. Mm-hmm. She was talking about the direction that our country is going. Yeah. I just want to expand it a bit. I think it was a day after your book launch that, was it Bessie J who was to attend? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And then he was illegally deported, right? Mm-hmm. And then a few months after that, now you have Tundu Lissu arrested. Mm-hmm. And you try to go and show your support, and they treat you like trash. So essentially, it looks like Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, we are all going through what happened in the 90s. So it's like history is repeating itself. And Gen Z led a very fierce fight. So my question is, how should we, as mothers, as leaders, how can we encourage the ones who go to the front to continue with the fight? Because when your friends and colleagues are abducted, some don't come back, it can make you, fearful. And you feel like it is not worth the fight, or, you just no longer as fearful as fearless as you were before. So how do we essentially continue this fight, not just in Kenya, but Uganda and Tanzania as well? Because it seems like we are all falling back into the dictatorship era of the 90s.
Got it. Do I take two more? Do you? Yes. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. For those of us who feel the weight of constant struggle for justice or good governance, what practical advice do you offer for sustaining personal resilience and avoiding burnout when advocating for change?
Avoiding burnout. Me time. Even in the midst of the worst, you must find me time. Me time will take many forms. It may just be a few minutes laughing with your friends, a few minutes having, if you like swimming, if you like sports, it will just even mean a walk, It takes many forms. But whenever I feel that I've really had it, I have to have me time. And otherwise, we all suffer burnout. I actually suffered burnout of practice when I used to do family law, a lot of family law towards the end. And when you listen the problems, most of my clients, except one or two, were women. During that whole period, maybe one or two. But almost every client was a woman. And the stories, the accounts you hear, you go home burdened. It becomes, I told you I do 100%. It becomes my case. Such that even if the client has no money, I'll file with mine. So you carry those burdens. And at one time, I just said I'll stop practicing, you see. But still, I could do something to help them because we were amending laws in Parliament, making a constitution that makes, fights for equal rights. So not abandoning the issue completely, but tackling it at a different space. Please, me time, share with friends, because a thing you speak out, you begin the healing. But if you are just bottling everything yourself, you can very easily break down. Yeah, so me time and sharing. A mother can only give encouragement. A mother will always have worries. You will see even in the book, my dad asked me why my name is always on the top of statements, because he was concerned about my security. So you can give cautionary words about security. You can discuss how best you can take care of yourself. But be assured, you can never take care of yourself 100%. I cannot tell you that there is anything I did to avoid the Kanu era death traps. Even the day they were trying to abduct me, I even didn't know that. The word was not in use. Yeah. But when you read the book, you will see they were actually trying to abduct me. And people would be abducted. It wasn't so common, but people would turn up in forests dead. For a woman, it could be dead and raped, because devious thoughts seem to follow wherever female bodies are found. So, other than cautioning, we have to remember every generation must fight its war. This freedom we are enjoying, calling our country Kenya, not a British protectorate. People had to shed their blood. And we do not know the exact count because the colonialists never kept that count. Every generation has its war to fight. The wars we fought in the 90s, though they are similar to today, it doesn't mean you extinguish. We have to keep on improving. If I sit and do nothing, I'm suffering just like you're suffering. I may not suffer because of a job, because I may not be looking for a job. I may not suffer because of a school, because I have no school-going child. But my child has a school-going child. It becomes my business. My grandchild, my child may not have a job. It's my business. So those issues are family issues They are community issues. They are our larger family, Kenyan issues. So none of us can stop, and we all have to see how to plug in. Every generation has its work cut out, and we shall never finish putting the house in order. Everybody who comes, you might want to move the furniture, you might want to repaint, you might want to repair, but repainting should not be destruction of old monuments. And I will not name them. Yeah. Okay, I think I have answered that.
Those ones. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Rest in peace, of course, to Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
Except one.
Yes, go ahead.
What keeps me going? The need to get it done. And again, I'll say just like a woman. Imagine in your house, you're walking in and you find a plate by the door. Do you jump over it? Or do you pick it even as you ask what is happening and who left it there? You see, the need to get it done. You do it, you participate. Even as you question, you want to put things in order. I'm that woman. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I have my mic.
Okay, aha.
So very quickly, my heart is melting because I met Honourable Martha Karua in 2012 at Janet Collection. I was like 14, 13, and so it really feels special. My question is, with all that is happening, I'm just comparing the past during the time of KANU and now, and things are becoming difficult. We have a progressive constitution, like everyone is saying. How do we strengthen intergenerational communication so that this movement continues? Yeah.
Gotcha. Lillian, real quick.
Asante sana. Thank you for sharing your story in the book and even through this platform. So I have a couple of questions. I'll be fast.
Just one, Aki. Just one.
Okay.
Bless us with one.
They're really pressing. So number one, there's this common narrative that is peddled a lot. Whenever you're speaking, whenever you're standing for something, people would be like, but you are the one who made 2007 happen. Like, you are not supportive, and people peddle this a lot. So as people who want to join you, who want to support you in the movement, how do we counter this narrative? Because I think you keep seeing it, and it's very annoying. And the second one, very quickly, is on what has happened recently with Tanzania, you being not being allowed to enter the country, and then us seeing very abrasive reactions from women parliamentarians. And a lot of, we expect that they would be supportive, but they were saying very disturbing things. So for you as someone who wants to run for presidency, what lessons are you picking on how you're going to run the country if you're given that position? So what lessons are you picking from the first female president from East Africa on what you're not going to do if we elect you to this position? Asante.
Thank you. Muthoni and Virginia. Real quick.
All right, mine is going to be real quick. So, Honourable Martha Karua, so one thing I admire about you is just how principled you are. And, reading the book, following your career, all your decisions are based on principle. And, you'll never act outside of what feels right to you, what feels proper to you. And, we all know in the political, arena, we see people coming up promising a lot of things, and then the minute you get into power, things just start happening. And my question is, how have you stayed so grounded in positions of power for so many years and still be so principled, so focused, so headstrong, and so headfast without sort of like falling into that trap that we see a lot of promising leaders just fall into a trap of corruption and just, going with the flow and going with how things are because this is how things are. So I'd really love to know how you stay grounded and how you've retained your principality and your integrity in difficult political situations.
Virginia here. I think my question has been asked, so I'll just say thank you for doing this. We could sit here the whole evening, but also to let you know that I'm part of the Kenya online defense forces. So
Okay.
I actually have a number of one of the MPs who said bad things in parliament about your visit in Tanzania, and we had a conversation. So we have your back. Continue doing what you're doing. Yeah, we have your back. Yeah, thank you for.
Rose, last question. I'm sorry, guys. Last question. Go ahead, please.
Mine is not even a question. For me, it's to thank you, Martha, for your consistency. I think I am married in Gishogo, and I hear stories from my mother-in-law of you have not changed since before I was born. And I thank you so much for staying the course, for fighting against fierce things, which we can only imagine. So mine is just to thank you for your consistency, for your fierceness, for inspiring our girls, and for just inspiring a whole movement behind you.
I love it. Okay. There's someone here from Kirinyaga. Do you want to wave, Juliet? Where in Kirinyaga, real quick? Where? Sema tundo tujue. Maybe she was your MP and we didn't know.
Yes. Thank you so much. My name is Juliet Kabere, and what she said, I resonate with that. I'm from Kirinyaga, Kerugoya, and yes, and I really echo what she says. My mother, my grandmother, everybody. I think 2027.
Oh, wow. Okay. Go ahead.
Now, intergenerational conversation, I think even here now, you can see it's intergenerational. So we've got to be intentional about it and to keep talking. And if there is intergenerational conversation, then we will not be saying beyond a certain age we don't want. Because even in a home, you do not overthrow your parents because you have become of age. But you can take over from them depending on what needs to be done. They might even surrender to you the business because you have shown the acumen. So we need to participate in this together and to have more and more forums of intergenerational conversation. Now, 2007, I think we just have to let's not be lazy and be inquisitive. Last year, when the Gen Z went out and bullets rained on them, some died, some were injured. Can Kasongo say it's the Gen Zs who made him do it? Getting people out to kill others is a deliberate thing you do. So to try and say it happened because of Martha, ask them, what did she do? What is peddled, they'll tell you that they stole elections. So Kibaki became my baby. If he steals election, you ask the mother. You see? Kevoito became my baby. If he announces Kibaki, you ask the mother. The Chief Justice who swore him became my son and on my back, so you ask. And it's something that happens every time. Even today, I'm asked more questions about the males who are in the People's Coalition than they are asked themselves. Those who are online can attest to that. Yeah? Why are you with them? Can you first tell me this one did this? You know, you wonder whether people are feeling all right. You can go ask that person. You can apportion responsibility. My role was Kibaki's agent. Ask me those questions. How many questions has Orengo been asked on behalf of Raila because he was Raila's agent? It's just wanting to wipe your bloody hands on my skirt. Get off my skirt. You see? And what if I made a mistake? Do two wrongs make a right? You cannot say it's because of so and so. That's a narrative crafted generally. And those who like to Google an interview I did in 2008, January, with BBC. I actually blamed Raila for genocide. Not because he killed a person himself, but I was actually saying that those in ODM, i.e. one term and others, who did that, because he was the general, who did that on behalf of their side. And the beneficiary on that side was who? Just like you can say on the retaliation side, then you can say it was for the benefit of Kibaki. So it was very clear that it's things done deliberately. You see? I may have said it on the heat of the moment. That didn't mean it's him who went and did it. I was saying this is your captain. I was the agent, not the captain. And all I did was to say, in fact, there is a video that circulates. Listen to it nicely. I am there shouting, telling them, Mr. Chairman, and there are people there shouting at me. And I tell them this election will be won by the ballot, not by shouting. So tell me what's wrong with that? What sends you to go kill? Carry your own burden. Don't worry about that Tanzanian woman or the Tanzanian MPs. They are just like one or two of their counterparts in Kenya. They are women who will insult themselves. And remember, I was there myself when I was refusing to communicate with the business and professional women. When you talk that way of a woman, you have no self-worth. You see, no self-worth at all. So you pity them. They need to be reoriented. And I actually pity President Samia. Because if she sees, and she must have seen, her parliament that talking like that, it reflects on her. When you see Ruto thanking Tanzania, when a Kenyan has been violated, when Kenyans have been forcibly returned and denied entry, you pity him because you do not understand the post you are holding or its responsibility. So don't worry about them. Just see them as objects of pity and hope that we shall re-educate them in the future. For me, the more the battle gets harder, the better I become. I keep saying I was born for such times as this. I get more energized. Yeah? The more it gets harder, I get more energized, and I thank God for it. That's why I will leave Tanzania on a Sunday deported, rest on a Monday, and Tuesday at 7 a.m. I'm aboard a Ugandan Airways flight heading to Kampala. You see? Not worried. If they want to return me, their problem, not mine. I will have done the best I can in the circumstances. And by the way, we are very happy with what happened, except the violation of our colleagues. Attending court like I had attended before in April in Tanzania would never have put Tundu Lissu's case on the map the way their misbehavior did. Now, when Boni and Agatha talk of the cruelty meted out to them, Parliament has confirmed with their tongues, you know, they are making up our case. And it's going to help many people in Tanzania. People have disappeared. There's an activist who came and gave me his book recently. He disappeared when he went home. And he was saying he fears, but he's not going to give them the satisfaction of not returning. He's called Mudude Nyagali. He disappeared. And he was arrested by armed people in his house. And the family filmed the arrest. You can see the pool of blood right in his house. Nobody knows how he is. You've seen how the preacher, Gwajima, who is also a member of parliament, has been treated. The belly of Tanzania has been slit open. We are able to see the contents. The attention the world is paying to rights in Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya, unprecedented. So we are getting there, and I'm energized. Now, how do you know now that this one I can't read, and it's me who wrote? Oh, you asked how I keep going and all that, and I'll tell you, it's easy to be me. When you are being true to yourself, it's easy. So what you see me doing, I don't have to plan for days. It's just being me. And I've told you, the harder the battle, the better I become. The more energized I become. Yeah, and that's how I keep going. That's why even when they attacked us with pangas in my first campaign, I still kept campaigning. I changed the way I do things. I came and organized security better, but it was not reason to give up. Giving up is giving up on life. It's allowing somebody else to oust you. In actual fact, the only time I came to near giving up, 2000, I was thinking of how if the Kanu regime was coming back in 2002, I, for a split second, considered if I could go to exile. Then I wondered, then my mother, my sisters, my friends, you know, you go like that and you realize you're going nowhere. And then I realized it was a crazy thought, and we made a resolve, several of us, that we shall not allow anybody to oust us from our own country. So tell your mom, tell anybody that this is our war, this is our home, and we shall not allow anyone to oust us. We are going to be smarter. If you're using snipers, we may use places you will not be able to get our chests or our heads. Let us get more innovative. But this is a battle we cannot give up on. Yeah.
Amen. Amen. When someone asked about self-care, the day you resigned as the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, you said you went and played golf.
I went to play golf with my golfing buddy. I had asked her to come to the basement of the building to collect me because I was going to leave the official cars. And those days she had like a small car. And that's the car I entered. A friend of mine came to bring her SUV for me to enter. And I told her, no, this one. And we went golfing. And it really felt nice. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so we have come to the end of the session. I wish we had more time. But like she said, she has a very special... Her teacher, if you watched the launch for Against the Tide, her teacher was there. And he's launching his book today. So, you know, you also...
moral duty to be there for Mr. Gomez, yeah.
Absolutely. So get out your books. If you want your book signed, get out your books real quick. It's going to be fast. We're going to be orderly. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's made today a success. Waithera, where are you? Waithera is the CEO of ArtSign. All the branding is done by ArtSign. Thank you so much. So when you asked where she got this, uyo. Modhoni is the owner and co-founder of Somanami Books, who have been selling this book at a 15% discount, by the way. Modhoni, we thank you.
Were you the first? Yeah. Together with Nuria.
Yeah. Yes. Fantastic. Modhoni, we appreciate you so much. Kaviki, where's Kaviki? Kaviki is the one who did the official Read to Resist Cafe artwork. We appreciate you, Kaviki, so much. She's fantastic. Maureen, our floor manager, thank you. Smile. And everyone who has attended today, I appreciate you so much. You guys are amazing. Who have I? Sankara, who? Julia. Okay, that's my brother who's doing IT. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we're just going to now call Dr. Musoba Kitui. Dr. Kitui is the Regional Director, IPAS Africa Alliance, and he's going to close this for us, isn't it? Welcome, Dr. Kitui. If you were here last time, you know how amazingly he spoke.
Thank you, Koi. Reading the book, I think there are so many fasts for women. So many fasts. I think that both for Martha, but also for other women as well, including Chief Justice Kwame as well. There's plenty of fasts. And I think we can celebrate those fasts. Probably grief that society has dealt with us, that we have fasts in this age and time. But I hope that it energizes especially the women in the room, that we have to normalize equality. We have to move to a time where fasts are not something we celebrate, that equality is actually normalized. 3 things for me that I take away from the book, really. The first one is really radical persistence. I think you've been very, very persistent, and I think even just from your talk here, persistence is what delivers. But I think also grounded courage. I think when you look at what Martha does, she does not do it because it's an academic exercise. I think the drama, the driving like crazy and everything else, I think it just shows the courage she has. But I think for me, it's also a very smart courage as well. So the choice to not go to Sabasaba was a very deliberate one. as well. And I think she talks at length in the book about that as well. You have to be alive for justice to even matter, isn't it? So even as women, as you fight for equality and everything else, yes, be very, very grounded in that courage, but also be smart about it. And I think for me, there's plenty of that. And the last one, I think, is the solidarity that really surrounds Martha Karua's life as well. The people around her, from her father, grandmother, and everyone else. And I think for society that we live in today, those three things looks like they're going to be very, very important if Kenya will have a future worth having. So I hope you're all encouraged today. Let's go out there, let's read, let's resist, and let's persist. Sindio? Until such a time where fasts are no longer any more fast. But maybe I think there's one major fast that Martha Karua has to deliver to us. I think there's a first president of this country, isn't it? So let's make that one term happen so that Martha Karua is our first our first president of this country. And with those few remarks, I just want to thank you very much for coming. And I know we have a book signing to do. And I wish you a very nice evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kitui. My husband is there. He works with Honourable Karua in the party, and he's just going to wave. Because, I have to go back to that house, so I have to recognize him. Thanks.
He's my worthy national deputy, party leader.
There you go. And I'm also going to close with a story. My colleague who I work with, because I work in government, in 2003, he was in the he's an engineer. He's called Engineer Raymond Karani. He was in the ministry at the time, and he said when you came one of your first meetings, you realized that you needed a key to go to the toilet. Like the toilets all had keys, and so you asked, and he tells this story quite a bit. And you asked, why would you deny someone the dignity? Why would you have someone go for a key to go to? They're announcing that they have to go to the bathroom. So you know what she did? She ordered all the doors removed from the toilet. All the doors were removed. I don't know if you remember that. Not removed, maybe the core. That's how he tells the story. Not the inner door, but the main door before you enter the stalls. That was actually said. And I keep remembering that story. And to me, it just sums up today and how it was. So thank you so much, Honourable Karua. Be blessed and Godspeed in the next journey. Thank you. Let's have a standing ovation for her, please. Please, please. Thank you.